The jet stream's about to kick back up towards high gear as we go into the week ahead, and it is going to remain active all week long, not only bringing showers and thunderstorms, but also the potential for some of the weather to get severe day by day from the plains to the east coast. In this video, I've got the details on where you can expect severe weather, a look at temperatures and the tropics. Let's get right into it.
One nation weather.
I've got a little bit of a new editing style as we go into this video right here, and if you want to use the same weather model maps that I'm using to edit with, make sure you're checking out WeatherBell right down there. There is a free trial link to them down there in the description. Also, if you're new to the channel, remember, if you enjoy this content and you want more in the future, consider hitting that button down below to subscribe to the channel for consistent, accurate, and educational updates in the future. But let's go ahead and fly right into that future radar for the week ahead using our trusty old European model, and I don't see much going on as we go towards our Monday, so I'm not even going to circle anything here. Yes, there's showers and thunderstorms possible in some parts of the northeast. We'll have a little bit of shower and thunderstorm coverage in some areas of the southeast where you see the greens. Same goes for areas in the Midwest, and then also some of our heaviest thunderstorm coverage back into the Mountain West regions of the United States. Nothing really screams out. We're not going to have any widespread severe weather, just some heavy rainfall in some of those areas you see highlighted on screen. But as we go towards Tuesday, it doesn't look much different, but there is actually something that I'm really watching here, and it's this low pressure area that's really going to begin to pick up out here over parts of Montana, Idaho, surrounding areas in the Rockies, and all the way down there towards Arizona and New Mexico, at least the northern corners of those states, right around the Utah and Colorado border. And the reason this area is interesting is because it's actually going to push eastward into the plains. Wednesday, we'll see more activity towards the Midwest. Thursday, and then a lot of the eastern U.S. or the eastern third of it will continue to see impacts from this overall system heading towards the end of the week. In fact, you can see exactly what I mean here as we progress towards the end of our Wednesday. This is around 8 to 11 p.m. when this thunderstorm coverage will really begin to blossom on up. Yes, this is some of that activity that I hinted at could be severe earlier in the intro to the video. North Dakota, parts of Minnesota, and then down there towards South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa. This is that little area where I think the best chance for some of those stronger to severe storms will be as this overall disorganized area of convection tries to bubble up, get its act together just a little bit more. You're about to see me circle as we go towards Thursday a little bit of a bigger area than what the European model has for rainfall and showers and thunderstorms. You can see the best chance for rainfall anywhere from Minnesota down there to the Midwest, where the further south you go, the best chance for severe storms will be. The GFS model actually has the entire western area of this circle having the better chance for storms late on Thursday heading into our early Friday. So there's going to be some uncertainties because this is pretty much a mid to upper level piece of energy that's going to be circulating around, and you're really going to notice the characteristics of that, at least on this particular model. See it swirling around up there towards Wisconsin and Michigan, while showers and thunderstorms continue to be on the southern and eastern side of it. Really anywhere in this whole circled zone, whether you're with the European model or the GFS model, we're going to have to watch for some coverage of showers and thunderstorms within it. A few isolated severe storms, a few isolated instances of flooding as we close out the upcoming week here. So as we close out the work week, head into the upcoming weekend, August 16th going into the 17th, notice it looks like it will be active across the eastern U.S. Exact locations are very difficult to pinpoint this far out, but of course, you know, I'll have more videos on the way throughout the week. Those will help you pinpoint exactly when these storms will be in your neck of the woods. But now I want to bring out the magnifying glass, and it's about to appear right now on your screen, and it is showing you where the European model says in the mid-levels of the atmosphere we've got that system, and particularly that low pressure system that's going to carry us to the end of the week. Notice it coming out of the west through early to midweek, moving across the plains Wednesday into Thursday, and then the European model has it moving fairly quickly over into areas of the Midwest and Great Lakes, and that's where it kind of has it slowing down, stalling out, so to speak, bringing the heavier chances for rain all the way through the weekend. The GFS model brings a similar startup scenario. That makes sense because confidence is higher with models, of course, and they agree more within the shorter range. But notice once we get onto Wednesday's time frame, we see it start moving out of the Rockies into that territory where it could really do anything, while it's wedged between some of the ridging to the north and the south here in the central USA. Look at this. By the time we go towards Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it has the center of this low pressure area further southwest, a little bit further towards the Midwest as opposed to the Great Lakes, and that could really mean a difference in exactly where our shower and thunderstorm chances are. Regardless, it looks like the jet stream is poised for some activity to run along it. You can really see that band stretching from California all the way to the Carolinas there through the nation's midsection as we go through the entirety of the week ahead. Now I want to use my severe zones graphic. It's very similar to my ONW severe scale right here on the channel. My severe scale goes from 1 to 7. This really shows where I would have different levels and the highest certainty for them. And as we go towards our Tuesday, August 13th of 2024, the most likely area for a level 2 of 7 on my scale stretches from Montana all the way down there towards around Kansas and northern Oklahoma. This entire Front Range region really watching a thin quarter of isolated severe weather that is expected to pop up. That's really based based off the Storm Prediction Center, as well as some of this model guidance that I used to develop that graphic. You can really see here using the storm energy model, and this is the European model. While West Texas has no storm energy up here in the magnified area, we will certainly have plenty of energy moving on up there into western Nebraska, all the way on up there to eastern Montana. Keep in mind as I continue to show you these graphics that these are the best chance areas, not the only areas that could see severe weather day by day, and the best chance for isolated severe weather as we go into our Wednesday. That final day of the best certainty from our GFS and European model is going to be right in there in parts of South Dakota into Nebraska, surrounding spots. Be ready there. In fact, let's bring out the magnifying glass to really show you that best chance area and why I think it is that best chance area. In addition to the jet stream energy that will be flowing across it, looks like there's going to be right around Omaha, Nebraska, some of that highest storm energy of the day. We've obviously had many severe weather events there this year. Do not need more, but it could be another day if the storms fire up. By Thursday, I've got a very broad zone highlighted. Not everyone in this zone will probably see severe weather. In fact, I'm almost guessing that it will not happen like this. But the reason there is such a broad zone highlighted for at least isolated severe chances for Thursday is because the European and the GFS model are in a very high disagreement. Anywhere in the zone, please be weather aware towards Thursday and monitor for those changes in the forecast. And then as we go towards Friday, anywhere from Alabama all the way over there to Massachusetts and back to the west, northwest to Wisconsin. If you're in that triangle area and spots in between, please be prepared for isolated severe storm chances going towards our Friday, because once again, certainty really is decreasing, and I just want to highlight all the areas that at least had that possibility or that best chance possibility. Speaking of best chance possibilities, what I can tell you is where we're going to have some of that heaviest rainfall as we carry throughout the week ahead. Let's start with some of that rainfall just through our Monday and our Tuesday, so August 12th going into the 13th. Look at where these heavier downpours are going to be, really extending out here from Utah all the way over to Missouri. So while severe weather is not expected in Missouri the next couple of days, there will be at least some storm action. That's going to keep temperatures down and also increase the flooding threats, as some spots, really in this entire circled zone, but especially there in Missouri, could exceed 2 to 3 inches of rain, and a lot of that could fall in just 1 or 2 thunderstorms. So be ready for those heavy downpours. Missouri will continue to be under the bullseye for showers and storms, especially if you go with the GFS solution for the modeling as we go throughout the end of the week. Either way, it looks like in areas in the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Great Lakes will rack up on some pretty heavy rainfall at times. Some of those rainfall totals, I'm sure on the higher end, will be upwards of 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches. And again, that really looks like it's going to be in a bullseye around Missouri, Iowa, or Illinois. Be ready when those storms come overhead, because they could dump a lot of rain in a quick period of time, even over into the Ohio Valley and some areas of the southeast U.S. It is summertime. There's lots of moisture in the air, and that can really get dumped out of any cloud at any minute. Another thing about the summer is that there's a lot of heat, and I want to pinpoint that out for you here using our temperature anomalies from the European model. Notice a lot of the central U.S. seeing some, at least brief breaks in the heat. You see some of those blues developing, especially of the north central regions, where we'll have those thunderstorms through the week ahead. Elsewhere, though, we are going to be above average for some of those temperatures. Let's go day by day. In fact, every 2 days is what these temperature anomaly graphics that I have made encompass. So let's start with Monday going into our Tuesday, August 12th going into our August 13th. The best chance for warmer than average temperatures is going to be along the south, where we're going to have ridging, and along that far northern tier from Montana over to Maine. Areas in between are either going to be around average or at some point below average. That includes areas around Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois, where we're going to have, of course, some of that heavy rainfall in the coming days. This was a hard graphic to make, I'm going to be honest with you, as we go towards Wednesday and Thursday. There's going to be points where it could be warmer than average, even in some of the areas that are blue, but we could have thunderstorms that end up making it, say, 10 to 15 degrees below average in these spots at the same day. So here we go from the Dakotas down there to Indiana. You know, that looks like the most prominent area for thunderstorms during this time period. So cooler than average air can be expected there. And then as we go towards Friday, heading towards Saturday, the upcoming weekend, the cooler air starts to lose out and it gets lost to some of the ridging. Temperatures could be upwards of around 10 degrees above average for some of the hottest areas of the country already, down there in New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, all the way down to the southeast there in parts of Mississippi and Alabama. This is going to be a scorching week ahead there, and it's only going to build as the week goes on. So get used to it if you live in those areas, unfortunately. And of course, make sure to check on any elderly neighbors. Check on yourself if you don't have the air conditioning, pets, all of those things. I want to take you day by day with those temperatures so you can visualize exactly what these anomalies mean for you as we go towards our Monday, August 12th. Starting off the work week, it is going to feel like a fall day, but it's going to be pretty rainy, of course, with that stormy activity here over this region of the country. South Dakota, Nebraska, all the way on over here into some parts of Indiana, especially right there where you see the 70-degree readings around the Iowa, Illinois, Missouri border. That's where the best chance for some isolated storms will be Monday, probably sub-severe in most cases, but, you know, it will definitely keep the temperatures down. Then with some of that worst heat, yes, yes, we're going to have it contained overall to those states that border Mexico or the Gulf of Mexico, at least on Monday. You know, we've got these 95 to 100 degree readings really across the board in all of these circled areas, except for a few of those mountainous spots in Arizona and New Mexico. The heat is really going to be on as we go into the week ahead. Tuesday, continuing to build parts of Oklahoma. It could be near 100 in Oklahoma City, definitely near 100 plus in some parts of north central Texas, northwest of the Dallas area. That includes you. Here we go towards Wednesday. Not to make anyone mad who lives in the south central United States, but it is going to be very refreshing, or at least I would call it refreshing up here in the Mountain West as we go towards our Wednesday, August 14th. We've got Washington, Oregon, into especially Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and Colorado. If you live in these states, some of those higher terrain areas are going to be below 60 to 65 for high temperatures. Even though you don't see those numbers on the screen, those very highest peaks are definitely going to be in that chilly range. Of course, not many people living out there, though, and there's a lot more people that are going to be searing in this 95 to 105 degree heat down here in the populated areas of Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, as well as into Kansas. The cooler air will continue over some areas of the northeastern fourth of the country. You can see that anywhere from Minnesota over to Maine, some 70s throughout the week, some low 80s at times. Nothing too crazy, nothing too cool or warm there. The storms are really going to be riding along this corridor on that periphery of the heat, and where we've got some of that cooler air bordering on the north. You could argue that this is like a ring of fire weather pattern like we had a couple of weeks ago when I made videos on that. If you want to check back in on those videos, you can see what a ring of fire pattern is from those. But I can tell you, we're not going to be seeing too many more of these because, of course, fall is on the way, and those are a lot less likely when fall comes around. What increases in coverage when fall comes around, though, is tropical activity, and you can already see our next system there. I've got the magnifying glass over it as we go through the week ahead, going anywhere from the northern end of our Antilles there, all the way north of the Caribbean and out there towards places like Bermuda in the western Atlantic Ocean. And this is potential tropical storm 5 that has now formed with very likely formation chances sitting right around the midpoint between Africa and our eastern Caribbean islands. They're the Windward and Leeward Islands. It is going to come very close, if not touch the Leeward Islands as we go towards the Tuesday to Wednesday time frame here, and then eventually begin curling to the north. In fact, it is very much so expected to develop within the next day or two at this point. You can already see on satellite, we've got a little bit of that spin around the center of circulation, which is near some of those greener cloud tops on the northern side of some of that convection that you can see in the blues and greens. All of the Windward and Leeward Islands need to be monitoring the effects of this system for at least some rainfall and gustier winds, but it's really those Leeward Islands on that north side that need to be watching at some of these heaviest conditions that could come out of what is currently potential tropical cyclone 5 and will very much so become a tropical storm Ernesto in the coming hours and days. You can see as we go towards the 12th, so August 12th, right the day after I film this video, expected to become a tropical storm probably some point late in the day and going early into our Tuesday morning. Look at this, by Tuesday morning around 2 a.m. we could be seeing a fairly strong tropical storm already making its way over here towards areas in those Leeward Islands. This does include areas north of Dominica. Anywhere between Dominica and Puerto Rico is where this storm could make a graze to the islands. And then, of course, for those of us here in One Nation, for my One Nation weather channel, if you live anywhere from Florida up to Maine, you're probably going to feel the effects of some at least minor rip currents, to say the least, out of this storm, even though it's going to be as far out as Bermuda, maybe some increased wave heights. But I really think this coastline looks pretty clear. Not 100%, but there's, I would say, probably a 90% chance that the U.S. East Coast is clear unless something crazy happens with a turn. Bermuda, though, right in the line of fire of a possibly major hurricane later this week. So I'll be keeping an eye on that for you. If you want to keep an eye on all the weather patterns with me right here at One Nation Weather, make sure you're subscribing down below, turning on those notifications. I will see you right here in the next weather update. That is it, everyone. Have a great day. Stay blessed.
One Nation Weather.